Hello, Father. Tell me, what would you do when someone has stolen from you?
After everything I've been through to find you, I think you already know.
I'm sorry, Father. Of course. You're right. The group that calls themselves the Railroad have acquired several synths from the Institute. Synths that had gone missing in recent months. They no doubt mean to free these synths, in their delusion that synths are somehow sentient beings. You've been in contact with the Railroad, so you're aware of their misguided beliefs.
They mean well. They're only doing what they think is right.
You dealt with Libertalia. That's the result of their selfish, short-sighted plan. Usually they are a minor nuisance, but lately they have become more emboldened. I'm afraid we've reached the point where a response is necessary. We have learned the current location of these synths, and need to reacquire them before the Railroad can hide them.
Where are the synths located?
A small settlement at the old Banker-Hil monument. But it's important that we act on this soon, before the Railroad has any indication we've tracked them. We also don't want the Brotherhood of Steel getting wind of the presence of the synths. That would only complicate matters.
Is it just me, or will I have backup?
A Corsair will be waiting for you outside Banker-Hil. You'll have support should you need it. But we want to keep this small. Banker-Hil must be dealt with, if for no other reason than to make a point.
Randolph Safe House has got another dead drop for you.
I just heard the most fascinating rumor. The story goes that you actually found the Institute. Been there and back again. Sounds crazy, right?
Where'd you hear that?
Deacon brought it to my attention. And, as usual, he won't give up his source.
It's all true.
Deacon says you used teleportation. I can't imagine. We know you got inside with the help of the Brotherhood of Steel. My hope is you've infiltrated them for us. Or, at the very least, your true loyalty lies with us. So let's put it to the test. We have a vital mission that only you can carry out. You up to it?
I'll do the mission then.
You have no idea how relieved I am to hear that. What I'm about to tell you is the most closely guarded secret the Railroad has. It's time you learn about Patriot. There's a man, or woman, we're not sure, inside the Institute who helps synths escape to freedom. Dozens of synths owe him their lives. We don't know his name. We've never had a way to contact him. So we gave him the code name Patriot. So you need to infiltrate the Institute and make contact with Patriot.
How do I make contact?
Tom devised a way to send a message to Patriot. We can plant a coded message on an Institute terminal. And, if all goes well, he'll respond. Just see Tom, and you can proceed from there. Talk with Tom. It's his plan on how to contact Patriot.
Can I talk to you?
Something on your mind?
The Institute knows about Bunker-Hill. They're planning to recapture the synths there.
The timing couldn't be worse. The old man's been sitting on those 4 synths. There's nowhere else that's safe we could put them. Maintaining your cover is vital. But the sacrifice is just too great.
How much damage would it cause if we let them hit us?
We're running out of places to hide our synths. That's why we put so many eggs in one crowded basket to begin with. So what would we lose? 4 synths, Stockton, some of our best agents, and the inevitable civilian casualties? No, not this time. We've never known when and where the Institute would strike us next. But now we have a chance to turn the tables. We wait until the enemy is in position, then we hit them hard. No one they send out comes back alive except you. Understand?
Won't the Institute be suspicious if I'm the only one left?
You're a lot tougher than anyone else in their outfit. If only one person could survive, it would be you. And any story you come up with won't be contradicted. We can't attack too early. We need to draw them into the kill zone, and then spring the trap. You'll know when. You'll probably have a Courser escort. You'll have to take them down. You've done it before, but it'll still be dangerous.
Well, this'll be an interesting challenge.
It's a risk, but it's one we have to take. So get it done.
Hey.
Oh, man, you were actually there? Inside the belly of the beast? No time for that, though. Let's set you up to contact Patriot. I got here one genuine Tinker Time special. Just load her up onto a holotape, plug her into any Institute terminal, and execute.
Hey.
What do you need?
Hi.
Hey,
How are you feeling about things?
where to next?
That was it.
No problem.
Synth.
I've been waiting for you.
So, what's our situation?
I assume you've been briefed? Our targets are inside. 4 synths under railroad protection. Majority of the settlement is uninvolved and are expected to run for cover. The mission's parameters just changed. We go in shooting. Requesting backup relay now.
with one of us, you mess with all of us. That's what you want.
No point in leaving that for the scavengers.
Hey there.
I can't believe you do that for us. Thank you.
Hey.
You've given us another chance at life. We won't forget it.
Hey there.
Thank you for sparing us.
We'll get somewhere safe as soon as you're gone.
I can't believe you do that for us. Thank you.
Make a move and I'll end you, Wastelander.
Gizmo of yours is buzzing for a reason. Radiation.
Sensor reading detected. What? Who's there? What? Who's there? You must be terminated. Sensor detected. You'll never let go of the battle! I must end your existence.
Son.
You know, in all my years, I've never set foot outside the Institute. Not once. Since the day they brought me here. I've never had a reason. But now, this just confirms the truth I've always known. The Commonwealth is dead. There's no future here. The only hope for humanity lies below.
So why come out here?
To put things in perspective, I suppose. Standing here, I'm reminded of how fortunate I am that I was spared a life in this wasteland. I know that to you, I was kidnapped from that vault. In truth, the Institute rescued me. Both of us, really.
But why refreeze me?
As a failsafe, of course. I was the perfect candidate. An infant with uncorrupted DNA. But if something were to go wrong, if I died, well, the Institute realized a contingency plan was prudent. Another source of pre-war DNA, preferably related to their primary subject. It only made sense that my parents should fill that role. So you were kept alive and safe within the vault. I'll admit, when I had you released from Vault 111, I had no expectations that you'd survive out here in all this. To not only do so, but manage to find me. To infiltrate the Institute itself. Extraordinary.
Why let me out now? After all this time?
Well, that's hard to explain. Certainly it was no longer necessary to keep you suspended. Well, I suppose I wanted to see what would happen. An experiment of sorts. I had no idea what kind of man you were, you see. Would the Commonwealth corrupt you? As it has everything else? Would you even survive? Perhaps most curious to me, would you, after all this time, attempt to find me? And now I know the answer.
Was it worth it?
I believe so. Soon, I hope. I hope you'll understand. Everything I've done has been for the future. A future which I hope is not in jeopardy after recent events. Bunker-Hill did not go well for us. Would you care to explain what happened?
It's my fault. I wasn't able to complete the mission.
I gave you this opportunity to prove yourself. Particularly to prove to the Directorate that you deserve a place here. That will now be significantly harder. There will be accusations that you deliberately sabotaged the mission. Bunker-Hill was to cement your place as a valuable asset to the Institute. It will now only raise suspicions. And to see the Brotherhood of Steel involved in this? They had no way of knowing what was going on. I will refrain from sharing the outcome with the Directorate for the moment. Things are already in motion that this would only derail. Speaking of which, it's time for you to become more involved in the future of the Institute. I'd like you to join me inside. The Directorate is meeting, and you should be there. I'll be waiting. I've seen enough. It's time to go back in.
Man, just look at all these old planes. It's hard to believe they could actually fly.
If it looks dead, put one more in its head for good measure. Why take the chance?
So, I bet you're eager to get your hands dirty on our new project. How much has Maxon told you about it?
Well, he seems to feel it's pretty important.
Important is an understatement. We're pouring every resource we have into this thing. I hope it's worth it. Come on, it's this way. Unless you're blind as a bat, I'm sure you've noticed that we've been building a gantry on the tarmac. Maxon and Kells have been looking for something that'll tip the balance when we go toe-to-toe with the Institute. Now, the Prydwen might be a big beast, but she's not built for fighting. That's where our new project comes in. This storage bay full of parts is what's left of Liberty Prime. The Brotherhood used it in the Capital Wasteland as a weapon against the Enclave. It's the most advanced robot the Brotherhood has ever had at its disposal. Unfortunately, Liberty Prime was destroyed in the line of duty. I've spent the better part of the last few years piecing him back together. And if you think that was easy, try rebuilding a Protectron while you're blindfolded. In order to get Liberty Prime fully operational, we're going to need your help.
My help? I don't know a thing about robot repair.
Why don't we leave the repairing to my scribes? You're going to be doing the legwork. Now, the good news is that we've got most of Prime's parts fully assembled. The bad news is that it's going to take more than a few rivets and some spot welding to get them working again. The first problem is his CPU. It's fragile, and every time we try to feed power to it, it blows itself out.
There's gotta be a way to solve that.
I do all the maintenance on the Prydwen, so you'd think it'd be a snap. As much as I hate to admit it, Prime's power systems are out of my league. Luckily, you were able to convince Dr. Madison Lee to return to the Brotherhood. She was on the original build team for Liberty Prime a little over a decade ago. I've already spoken to her, but she's reluctant to work on Prime for some reason. If you could get her down here to lend a hand with his power system, we can get the big guy moving.
Heard you gave those beauties a force.
Attention! Halbert pilot to Station Epsilon. Halbert pilot report to Station Epsilon. That is all.
Charging into a situation guns blazing is a good way to get yourself killed.
If you're here to talk me into working on Liberty Prime, you can forget it.
What changed your mind?
Nothing changed my mind. I promised you I'd return to the Brotherhood, and I've kept my end of the bargain.
Do I need to remind you why you made that promise in the first place?
No, that won't be necessary. Tell Proctor Ingram to get her scribes ready. It's going to take a hell of a lot of work to get Liberty Prime back online, but we'll get it done.
Never did like this rust bucket. Oh, sure, the Bridwin's a fine ship, but put me in the field.
Have intelligence on the Institute. We can use it against them to gain the upper hand.
Proctor.
Well, things are off to a good start. Isn't that right, Doctor?
I hope so. Prime suffered some significant damage to his memory core. I wish your people would have been a bit more careful, Proctor. The good news is that the damage isn't irreversible, and I should be able to get the power flowing into his CPU core without overloading. If your people stay out of my way, that is.
Charming, isn't she?
Did we make a mistake asking her to help?
Nah, don't worry about it. We might not be best buddies, but we'll get the job done. Besides, Dr. Lee's worth all the aggravation. We're working with one of Prime's original designers. I don't see it getting any better than that. In fact, since things are going so well, we're gonna have you start building his electromagnetic actuators.
What do the actuators do?
Pretty simple, really. The actuators are what allows Liberty Prime's arms and legs to move. Prime's new limbs are way too heavy for the simple hydraulic pistons he had in the past. We're gonna have to rip those out, construct a brand new system using electromagnets, and install them in his limbs. What we need you to do is build the actuators for us.
Now that you know what the actuators are, you need to know how to make them. These are the plans and the materials list. Don't lose them.
Now, before you get that look on your face, you'll be happy to know that we have plenty of the raw materials on that list right here at the airport. The only thing we need you to head out and find is a high-powered magnet. According to Proctor Quinlan, the best place to find one is in any of the ruined hospitals around the Commonwealth. We've already sent out a few teams to find the rest of the high-powered magnets you'll need. They should be back by the time you return.
Once you start building the actuators, we need one for each limb, so you'll need to make a total of 4. Good luck.
Sense, FEV. Who knows what other sick projects the Institute's working on. We lost so much in the war.
Going up.
What a mess.
Ground floor. Ground floor. Going up. Basement.
That's it. You with the bobby pin.
Sweet.
Get some, motherfucker! Disappearing act. Huh? Fucking take that!
Going down. Basement. Basement. Going down. Second floor. Basement. Going up. Second floor.
Proud to be serving under Elder Maxon. I had enough of lions and his ways.
ferals. Radiation has
Ingram?
a twisted
That's
sense of
all
humor.
4 actuators. Delivered and done. Nice work.
Right on schedule. I've completed the restoration of Prime's basic functions, and he's ready to go. In fact, it's getting difficult to explain to the system why it can't move right now.
Well, as soon as my scribes get those actuators in place, we'll have his arms and legs installed in no time. Which brings me to your next assignment. It won't be long before Prime can walk and talk, but he's missing one last important element. His nukes. Without them, his offensive systems aren't operating at peak capacity.
What's Prime armed with?
Prime has 2 weapon systems, his eye laser and his nuke pack. The eye laser can target a hostile from hundreds of yards out and take it down with pinpoint accuracy. His nukes are modified Mark 28 nuclear bombs. They used to drop the things from bombers during the war. Just one of the nukes is equivalent to about 3 or 4 Fat Man shells. Basically, whatever it hits isn't getting up again. His eye laser is almost ready to go, but without nukes to load into his pack, he's fighting at less than half his capability.
Shouldn't be a problem. Just tell me where they are.
I wish I could. Prime's bomb pack is fitted for Mark 28 nuclear bombs, the same type of bombs that were dropped from aircraft during the Great War. The Commonwealth was a major staging area for the military's Air Force, so we assumed we wouldn't have trouble finding them. But since we arrived, our scouting teams haven't located a single bomb.
That's going to be a problem. Without a fully loaded nuke pack, Prime won't have the firepower to take on the Institute.
Can I build the nukes like I built the actuators?
I could build you 1,000 nuke casings, right now, but we've got nothing to put inside them. The Mark 28s have a specialized nuclear payload that requires the correct balance of fissile materials in order for them to detonate properly. In other words, I'd love to mix you a cocktail, but I'm all out of liquor. But before you give up hope, there's actually a silver lining here. Proctor Quinlan has located some records regarding a military installation, which was used as a nuclear weapons storage facility. We're fairly certain this included a stockpile of the Mark 28s. The catch is that the installation is located somewhere within the glowing sea.
Sounds like that's our only option.
Yep. I only wish I had better information for you, but that's all we have to go on. Scribe Halen's established a communications point on the frontier of the glowing sea. I suggest you head out there first, and establish a signal protocol with her so that the nukes can be airlifted out once you've located them. Hopefully, by the time you've returned, we'll be ready to wake Prime up, and you can say hello. Good luck, Knight.
We've got to get out of here before we turn into ghouls. Victorian, brother.
It's good to see you again, Knight. You've come a long way since you stumbled into the Cambridge police station.
How have things been over there?
Pretty well, actually. We've had the occasional synth attack, but so far we've been able to keep them from overrunning us. Thanks to the reinforcements and the air support, I'd say that site was secure.
What about those feral ghouls? They still a problem?
With a vertibird at our disposal? Not a chance. Anyway, I know you don't have time for small talk, so I'll get right to it. I've had the men set up the equipment we'll need to pinpoint you once you've found the bombs. We've rigged up this distress pulsar to emit a unique tone that we'll be listening for. When you find the bombs, plant the pulsar, and we'll handle the rest. After that, you should probably head back to Proctor Ingram and bring her your report.
I use this distress pulsar?
Unless you could locate an entire radio station within the glowing sea, there's no way you're going to be able to send out a regular signal. Luckily, the distress pulsar's ping cuts right through the interference, and we'll be able to hear you as long as we stay close to the frontier. Look, I know you've been through the glowing sea before, but remember to keep an eye on your Geiger counter. If you don't, the radiation will cook you from the inside out. Good luck, Knight.
You ever see anything like that before? Hope to God these aren't still armed. I guess you've got your reasons, but that just looks like junk to me. This place is giving me the creeps.
Going up.
Our voices will carry you, so we should be careful.
State your purpose, stranger. You walk on Atom's hallowed ground.
Just tell me where you keep the nukes.
Your words betray your intentions. You do not see them for the holy relics they are, the gifts from Atom that must be protected. The children of Atom have sworn to guard this place until the time of the Great Divide. None shall enter.
Trust me, I'm on your side here. I want to help you out.
Atom has no need of help from non-believers. When he returns to us, these relics will carry his word and his glory to all corners of the earth. That is why they must be safeguarded.
Did you understand any of that?
I want to spread his, glory. Look, the bombs will get used, okay? Isn't that what you want?
Perhaps then I have misjudged you. If you would see these relics used, then Atom's will is done. Take this, and prepare to enter his inner sanctum. Follow the brilliance of the glow, and it shall lead you to the relics. May Atom's radiance warm your soul.
This is Captain Mitch Dunleavy, 132nd Engineering Corps at Sentinel Site Prescott. All lines of communication are down, and we're tracking multiple inbounds on radar. This is a drill. We need confirmation immediately. We've got a lot of nervous soldiers over here, Command. If this is the big one, they want to head home to their families before it's too late. Some of the inbounds are getting awfully close. Wait a minute. The inbounds are splitting into multiple targets? Oh, hell. This is it, isn't it? May God have mercy on our souls.
Taking rats here. Every shot counts.
Hey, over here.
Okay.
Move here.
Aye, aye, sir. you have a minute?
What is it?
When we first met, I admit, I had my doubts about you, but you've done nothing but impress me. You're just who the Minutemen needed to bring us back from the brink.
Thanks. That means a lot coming from you.
You've probably realized by now how important the Minutemen are to me. When I was a kid, the Minutemen were my heroes. They were the only good guys around, really. When I turned 17, I joined up with Ezra Hollis's company. He was one of the good ones. Really believed in the old-time Minuteman way. We had a few good years there. I felt like I was part of something bigger than me, like I was really helping make the Commonwealth a better place.
If things were so great back then, how did it all fall apart so fast?
I'm sure there was a lot I didn't see or know enough to pay attention to. You know, the politics and rivalries and bad blood between the different groups. I guess General Becker was able to keep a lid on it, keep everyone more or less on the same team. But after he was killed, it all came out in the open. I couldn't believe it at first. These guys were supposed to be Minutemen. They were supposed to put their duty to the people ahead of everything else. You probably think I was pretty naive, huh? I guess I was. Still am, too. Even after everything, I still believe that the Minutemen can be what I always thought they were. The good guys.
We are the good guys.
We're doing our best. And a lot of it has to do with your example. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, thanks. Anyway, I appreciate you taking the time to listen.
Anything else?
No, that was it. We'd probably better get back to it.
If you're looking for ammunition or weapon mods, Dr. Deegan might have one.
With your reconnoiter of the Institute complete,
Proctor Ingram.
Looks like the Mark 28s are going to do the trick. That was a good find.
I'll work with your team to ensure that Prime's bombs remain stable after they're loaded into his pack. It won't be too much of a problem.
Well, Dr. Lee, I have to admit, we couldn't have done this without you.
It's a little early to begin celebrating, Proctor Ingram. We haven't fully thrown the switch on Liberty Prime, and I'm just hoping all the work I've done to keep his system stable are gonna hold.
Are you sure this is safe?
Of course. I've checked every connection, every circuit myself. Prime will hold together.
Proctor, all the readouts look green. I think it's time for you to perform the power shunt.
Actually, I think I'm gonna let you press the button. After all, without your help, we'd still be staring at a pile of disassembled parts.
It would be better if a trained technician performed that task, but I suppose you deserve to be the one to do it.
Liberty Prime, back online.
All right, let's run a basic diagnostic on him.
Diagnostic command accepted.
Give him a moment. He needs to adjust to his new configuration.
Voice module online. Audio functionality test initialized. Designation: Liberty Prime Mark II. Mission: the liberation of Anchorage, Alaska. Primary targets: any and all red Chinese invaders.
Now let me run a system analysis and battle readiness check.
Liberty Prime, full system analysis. All systems nominal. Weapons hot. Warning. Nuclear weapon payload depleted. Reload required. Warning. Power core offline. Running on external power only. Core restart recommended. Ability to repel red Chinese invaders compromised.
I've got green lights across the board here. He's looking good from where I'm sitting. Doctor, if you wouldn't mind keeping an eye on the big guy here, I'd appreciate it. Well, I have to admit, I wasn't sure we'd be able to pull it off, but Liberty Prime's looking pretty good.
was that he said about his power core?
Prime's in top shape, but his nuclear engine needs to be restarted. Right now, we have him running off of the Prydwen's engines. Once I get that sorted out, we'll send him off to kick in the Institute's front door. Before you head off to your next assignment, I have something for you. I came up with this little beauty myself. I think it'll add a bit more punch to your power armor.
You think I'll need it for my next assignment?
I don't know, but it never hurts to be prepared. Anyway, that's enough of that. You better hightail it up to the Prydwen. Elder Maxson said he needed to speak to you as soon as you were done here. And thank you, Knight. Without you, none of this would have been possible.
There's no time to waste when there's work to be done.